Cowboys OT is brought to you by Sleep Number. Sleep Number, the official sleep and wellness partner of the Dallas Cowboys. Yeti, officially licensed Yeti Cowboys gear, is now available at Stadium Pro Shops, concession, and on Yeti.com. And by Blockchain.com. Invest like your icons with Blockchain.com.
Week 7 of the NFL season falls in favor of the Dallas Cowboys as former defensive coordinator Dan Quinn comes back to AT&T Stadium and he leaves with a 44-22 loss. The Cowboys get back to 500 in emphatic fashion on America's Game of the Week this week, doubling up the Washington Commanders and helping their cause in the NFC East title race. Alongside Isaiah Stanback, Barry Church, and Nate Newton, I'm Kyle Yeomans from just outside the Cowboys locker room here at AT&T Stadium, still reacting to what was probably the most all-around win for the Cowboys this season. Of course, 2 weeks ago, they took down the New York Jets. I think at that time we said this was the most complete win of the Cowboys season, but it continues to get better, and it was a big response after what happened last week in Carolina.
Listen, I loved everything about today's game. The offense continued to be dominant like they've been all season long. Special teams unit converted, just like my boy Brandon Aubrey for 61 of them things. And then the defense. We must talk about the defense. Matt Eberflus said he was going to shake some things up this week, and he did exactly that. We saw a little bit of guys play a little bit of E-Honda at the line of scrimmage, a little man-to-man, and it made all the difference in the world.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, this was a great team win, and when you look at it offensively, Javonte Williams, your boy, Juggernaut, was able to get back to his dominating ways. I wasn't sure how CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens were going to go out there and perform. They did unbelievably. Dak Prescott was able to find both of his targets, and we really starting to see how explosive this offense can really be with a healthy CeeDee Lamb and a George Pickens who's now comfortable with his surroundings out there. And like you said, defensively, the secondary, they were extremely sticky out there in coverage. But what pointed out to me the most about this defense, the tackling, was so much better this afternoon than it's been in the entire season. You saw a lot of one-on-one tackles, a lot of gang tackling out there. They were keeping the cup, as Eberflus would say. So great team win overall, and hopefully we see more of that throughout this season.
You know, I'm a little sensitive about this situation because my guy, Jay Ferguson. Yeah, someone said he was getting 5 yards a catch. I disagree. He's averaging around about 8.5 after this game and a bunch of touchdowns. Thank you. But he played a magnificent game. But I want to say this. Our linebackers, y'all know I've been just eating them alive. And these guys made plays, from the young guys to the Murray to Shamar James. These guys made plays. They did what they were supposed to do. These guys looked like what we thought they was coming out of training camp. So I'm just excited if we can do this week and we can continue into next week, boy, this will be an exciting team to watch.
Yeah, it certainly was, and it was a complete effort.
4.14 yards today.
You just had to get him with it.
But he did have 2 touchdowns. He had 2 touchdowns. Let's not try and dampen this overall thought process. Let's not dampen.
I overestimated. Sorry, my 5 yards was an overestimation.
Okay, he did that on purpose.
Let's see how this one unfolded. As you can see, Nate Newton wearing his own 61 jersey. This was a day where the Cowboys welcomed in over 30 alumnus as a part of Cowboys homecoming, including Roger Staubach and Drew Pearson on the 50th anniversary of the Hail Mary. Dallas didn't waste any time getting their offense rolling on their opening drive of the game. A deep ball to George Pickens down the left sideline. A push from Marshawn Lattimore. Pass interference called. It set up Dallas at the 1, and it would be a touchdown for Javonte Williams on the next play. Dallas defensively gets a stop on their first defensive try of the day, but this punt pins Dallas all the way back, all the way at the 1-yard line. Dallas, in the shadow of their own end zone, will have to work their way out. They were not able to do so. Javonte Williams, just after his first touchdown of the day, gets pushed backwards. It's a safety in favor of Washington. They would take advantage of the free kick on their end of the football as well. Jaden Daniels, with plenty of time, he steps up and delivers a strike to Zach Ertz, and Washington would take an 8-7 lead after the 2-point conversion was no good. Dallas would tack on a field goal and get another defensive stop, setting up Dak Prescott for this deep ball over the middle to CeeDee Lamb, He breaks open behind the secondary. He'll take it 74 yards to the house. CeeDee Lamb, first game back from injury. So far, so good. He finished with 116 yards in this one and his first touchdown back, of course, after suffering that injury in week 3 against the Bears. Fast forward to the second quarter. Brandon Aubrey, midway through the frame, tacks on a 61-yard field goal. It's his 5th of 60 yards or more in his career, the most in NFL history. Dallas up 20-8. Washington would respond. Jaden Daniels fakes the handoff. He'll run it in himself from 1 yard out, and it's 20-15 Cowboys, but with plenty of time here. Only 30 seconds left in the second quarter. Dak Prescott, deep ball, puts it in a bucket for George Pickens, reels it in over the top of Lattimore again. It's a huge game, 44 yards. George Pickens was on another level again, even with the return of CeeDee Lamb in this football game. Next play for Dallas, 1st and 10 from the 35. They go to Javonte Williams. Williams breaks a couple tackles. Then he puts a stiff arm on a Washington defender, gets inside the 5-yard line, all the way down to the 2. He's on the doorstep again, and Dallas on the next play would convert. Under 15 seconds to play in the half, no problem. There's Jake Ferguson in that touchdown that Nate was talking about. Dallas led 27-15 at the break. Let's go to the third quarter rather, and Jaden Daniels in a bit of trouble, drops the football. Jadeveon Clowney hops on top of it. Club 42 showing out for Barry Church right here. Puts Dallas back on offense. Midway through the frame, Dak rolls out. There's Jake Ferguson again. His 2nd touchdown of the day, his 6th of the season, a new career high for Jake Ferguson. Then Marcus Mariota, after the injury to Jaden Daniels earlier in the game, he inserts and he gets hit as he throws this football. DaRon Bland would do the rest. He returns it. It's a pick 6 for DaRon Bland, like it's 2023 all over again. Bland with the pick, his first pick 6 of the season, and he takes it all the way back off of Marcus Mariota, and that would do it. By that point, Dallas was too far ahead. They would tack on another field goal in the fourth quarter. The final score, 44-22, as Brian Schottenheimer and the Cowboys take down the Dan Quinn-led Washington Commanders. Here are your final stats, brought to you by Miller Lite. Cowboys over 400 yards of total offense and a balanced attack at that, over 250 through the air and 150 on the ground. They had a 100-yard rusher in Javonte Williams, a 100-yard receiver in George Pickens, and then the turnover battle won by Dallas. As we leave you with the final stats, brought to you by Miller Lite. When we come back, we have instant reaction from inside the Cowboys locker room as they get back to 500, 3-1 with a big-time win over the Washington Commanders here from Arlington.
This segment is brought to you by Ashley, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
Stadium as the Dallas Cowboys take down Dan Quinn and the Washington Commanders in an NFC East battle. Let's hear from Coach Schottenheimer. It was arguably the most complete win for the Cowboys on this 2025 season. Here's what he had to say after the game.
Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News. What do you think the difference was today with your defense?
I mean, they played really hard like they always do. I thought we affected the quarterback the way that we had in New York. I think that's huge. You know, it wasn't just the 4 sacks, it was the hits. I thought our run defense really was great. I mean, Mariota got us for a couple runs, but man, they were swarming the ball. We were sticky in coverage, and that was all great to see.
But you had said all week, well, coming in this game, you liked the plan. And I don't know if you were talking more about defense and offense, but did you think playing more man-to-man got the guys a little more comfortable in what they needed to do?
Yeah, I mean, again, look, at the end of the day, you know, this was a team we wanted to play man-to-man against, you know. There was numbers and analytics that said that, you know, that was the right way to play these guys, and each week is different, but I thought we played man-to-man very well today. But, you know, we got to improve our zone coverages as well. But just proud of the guys, man. You know, the defense, they've taken a lot of bullets, and, you know, deservedly so in some regards. And I was just proud of them, man. They played really hard. They tackled well. We knew the turnover was going to happen. You know, we tried to manifest that 2 weeks ago and didn't get it. And there goes DaRon doing what DaRon does. So.
Clarence Hill, DLLS Cowboys. This is not about Diggs, but when you announced that Diggs was going to be out, seemed like that's a huge disappointment. Not that you weren't disappointed, but you were in a great mood, and to me that tells me you felt good about the plan regardless.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, yeah, you guys know me. I mean, I am who I am, and I don't change. Again, I'm disappointed for Trey. You know, he wants to be out there playing with these guys, but again, I like the plan on both sides of the ball. I thought we executed the plan on both sides of the ball. It was great to see guys step up and make plays. I mean, Triquez did a really, really good job for us, you know, again, just a couple guys got banged up and they came back. I mean, that just shows you the toughness of that group, man. K9 and Kenny Clark, and it was great to see Easy get his first sack, and Jadeveon. That was really cool. So just really proud of the group. But it's one game. And it's just a championship opportunity that we seized, and we got another one coming up next week.
Speak to individual changes.
Coach Schottenheimer happy after the win. 44-22 the final. When we come back, we'll have more locker room reaction as the Cowboys take down the Commanders here in Week 7.
This segment was brought to you by Ashley, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
Welcome back into Cowboys OT here from AT&T Stadium. The Cowboys defeat the Commanders 44-22. Back alongside Barry Church. I'm Kyle Yeomans, now joined by a couple of the Cowboys' key defenders in this 44-22 win. Donovan Ezeraku with your first sack of your NFL career. Congratulations, Donovan. And then we've got Kenny Clark here as well. Donovan, I'll start with you. What happened on that play? You finished with your first sack and able to piece it together for that one.
Shoot, I would just say it was a play with strain, honestly. I wasn't really supposed to be in the spot that I was in. You know, we had a pressure coming from the outside, and quarterback stepped up, and I kind of just strained to finish, and then that was my first sack. So
yeah, it felt good, right?
It felt great. Get that
First of many.
First of many, and it was funny when we were getting ready for this live shot. I asked both guys, "Is there anything you want me to ask about?" Kenny was the one that brought it up. It was the first sack. So, what was it like getting to see his success and a young buck like him trying to step up into a big role?
I mean, I just know what it's like to be a rookie, and you know, you being so close, and you know, you got so much stuff. You know, you expect so much out of yourself. And, you know, you want to go out there and get sacks and make all the plays and all that kind of stuff. So I was excited for him to see that. I mean, to see him get his sack. And, you know, he was real happy about it. You know, I'm happy for him.
Yeah, I feel like the whole defensive line made things hard for both Mariota, you know, and Jaden Daniels out there as well. Was this a different game plan, or was it more just guys winning the one-on-one opportunities?
I just think, I mean, when we stopped the run and, you know, force guys to pass, we got a lot of guys that can make plays, especially in the pass rushing game. And how our offense is playing, you know, we can get up on guys real quick, and you know, we can exploit people when they pass.
Yeah.
And you were able to piece it all together as a unit. Did you feel like this was your best complete defensive performance that you've seen this season?
Yeah, I would say so. I think we took last week very personal. You know, we got in the film room, and you know, myself and Kenny, we talked about it. It made us feel sick to our stomach watching the film back from last week, and we know that that's not who we are. So we made it a big point this week to go in there and do our job first and foremost as a defensive line, and then, you know, everybody else will follow. So I think that's what happened today.
Now, Kenny, you talked about that connection in the film room. I know you guys all kind of, as a group, brought it together, but how did you kind of galvanize that as a veteran in that group and in that front seven to have the rebound performance that you did?
Just understanding that, you know, we got to have the urgency every week. You know, you can't take no weeks off, and yeah, you got to just, I mean, it's a week-to-week league. You know, one week you're going to be the worst defense in the league. The next week, you know, we made a lot of plays, and everybody is applauding us. So, you know, we can't listen to none of that. We got to just, you know, stay focused and just have that urgency every week.
Yeah, I just got a real quick one. Is Eberflus still on that no-loaf protocol when it comes to the defense? Like, everybody's got to go run into the ball, lights out, like your hair's on fire out there?
Oh, yeah, that's his standard.
That's his standard. Yeah, I understand it, for sure.
He played for Eberflus when he was a linebackers coach back whenever he was here with the Cowboys first
he's still on that no-low protocol.
You know, Flus.
Oh, yeah, that's 100%.
What was the biggest change that you guys made from last week to this week that led to some of that success?
It wasn't nothing, you know, special that we did. You know, it was just us just, like, plainly just doing our job, being physical at the point of attack. Just understanding, you know, their run game, they're going to use their quarterback a lot, and, you know, we had to be smart with that stuff, and we just played off each other.
Donovan, as a rookie in this league, how much have you learned from guys like Kenny Clark in that defensive line room? Even though you don't play the same position specifically, you guys learn a lot and play off of each other quite a bit.
I learned a whole bunch, and I'm blessed to have a room full of vets, and good vets at that. And we talk all the time, and it's great to hear things like, he told me a technique this past week, and although we don't play the same position, we talked about it, and I was like, dang, that made sense. How come, I haven't thought about it, or other defensive ends haven't thought about it, but that's the great part about having a vet, like KC in there, and like Jadeveon and Dante. So that's what it comes with.
All right, so I'm going to start with Kenny here. Donovan, I want you to answer the same question after he's done. But Kenny, what's the key to continuing this into next week against the Broncos team that put up 33 points in the fourth quarter today to beat the Giants?
Just having that same sense of urgency and just being locked in. Honestly, it's not no special play call or a special play that anybody has to make. It's simply just doing your job, being able to communicate, and just staying locked in.
I think KC said it best. That's just what we have to do. We understand that we got to go out there and do our job first. And the plays are going to come, and we're going to have to capitalize and make those plays. So.
And you guys certainly capitalized in this one. It was a lot of fun to watch. Donovan Ezeraku, Kenny Clark joining us here on Cowboys OT. Congrats on the win, you guys, and go get them again next week.
Yes, sir.
All right. Cowboys OT continuing in a matter of moments here from AT&T Stadium in Arlington. Cowboys OT rolling on from outside the Cowboys locker room at AT&T Stadium. I'm Kyle Youmans, now joined by a special appearance broadcaster. This is Des Bryant. He's having a lot of fun with Cowboys homecoming today, and he's going to toss to CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. Des, take it away.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, man, shout out to George Pickens, CeeDee, man. Shout out to OT, man. Yeah, man. Appreciate you guys for having me.
All right, there you go. Here's CeeDee and George Pickens, right?
Let's go. CeeDee, George, talk to him.
You probably get fined.
Nah, just shit. The new one doesn't look like it's going to get fined. That looks like it's playing.
We'll see.
How is this? I mean, how much fun are you guys having together?
Super fun, super fun. We talk about this every day. Just grateful for each other. We compete with each other every day. And I feel like the best part about it is that we want each other to win the most. So.
How do you feel being back out there?
It's exciting, man. Watching my dog go crazy for the last 4 weeks, I'm pretty sure he enjoyed it. But I'm just taking the load off him a little bit and then making them play true, to the offense and to what we got going, and it's fun.
On that touchdown, it seems like George helped you swing open. What was that play?
That's no surprise to me. He always helped him, you know what I'm saying? And that's why we brought him here. It's exciting. And he was the first person I saw after I caught it, and there was nowhere there, so I already knew what it was.
You talk about him going off. We saw, some of your big celebrations with some of his crazy catches the last few weeks, but does that not motivate you a little bit?
I mean, I'm a competitor. I'm going to always be motivated, but I love to see him do his thing, though. You know what I'm saying? That's why we brought him here, and I feel like he's having so much fun here.
How different was the experience today than it was prior to when you got hurt in the Bears game? Now that you guys are that much more in sync and you're that much more a part of this offense, do you guys feel a noticeable difference in upscale in that regard?
Yeah, I definitely say more explosive. With having him back and Turk and a few other guys, it make the offense explosive. So kind of like how he said, you got to be true to the offense. And when you got all of us out there, you can't guard all of us.
George, your numbers weren't the same when he was out, but the impact was with the big catch before the half. How much did it feel like you were still having that impact even with him back?
Kind of like you said, me knowing that I can impact the game right before the half. We get points before the half, helping the defense. They come out in the halftime. We got to stop Jane Daniels. So I feel like I still affected the game in a positive way.
CeeDee, some touchdowns are better than others, but when it's a long touchdown, you two are running side by side like that, what's that like on the field with your guy and you're separating all the way down the field?
At that point, that turned into our touchdown. You know what I'm saying? And it's just again, it's whoever brings the ball in. And I feel like with that, short, sweet, and simple, let's continue to do that and many more in the future.
Did you feel like your touchdown too?
Yeah, I'm super excited. His first game back from the injury, me, I'm just super excited, and I'm glad we got the dub.
George, bring us through the celebration. Was it smooth? Were you happy with it?
Super smooth. Super smooth.
How excited do y'all get when Jake Ferguson has a big game like today?
Man, it's really just everybody, all pieces to this offense. And Ferg, we know he's going to do his thing. He's going to get it by any means, and we love that about him. He's gritty, he's a hard worker, and he deserves it.
see part of the number of really good offenses with this franchise. Where does this one rank?
This one the best one I've been on, and I've been on some great ones. It's just the way that we can move around these pieces and these players, and everybody know everywhere to go. We can line up faster than any. It's tough. It's tough.
Last 4 games, Dak, 13 touchdowns, no turnovers, over 1,000 passing yards.
That's for Dak,
20
man.
passer rating.
That's Dak, man.
Have you ever seen anything like this?
Nah, I haven't, and I'm sure he's going to continue to do that. And again, it's only week 7. We still got plenty more to go, so much more work to do, and we got to get better as an offense. Obviously, I feel like there's some meat on the bone that we left out there, and I feel like we can get better.
Just knowing Dak as you do.
You can hear the rest of course, CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens on DallasCowboys.com after the fact. Back with Isaiah Stanback and Nate Newton. I'm Kyle Yeomans. And one of the things that stood out there from CeeDee Lamb is he said, this is one of the best I've been on, talking about this offense and what they've brought to the table. They have put up elite numbers through the first 7 weeks of the year, another 40-point outing in this one against the Dan Quinn defense that, of course, we've talked about time in and time out on these shows throughout. And, of course, they were in the NFC title game a year ago. Isaiah, this offense, what's the ceiling with both of these guys back and healthy and playing the way that they have?
As long as they can continue to run the ball, I don't believe that there is a ceiling. There's no question that Dak Prescott has been and continues to be one of the league's best play-action quarterbacks. And in order to be one of the league's best play-action quarterbacks, you need an effective running game. And as long as you're running for 140, 150 yards a game, collectively, doesn't matter if that's one individual or multiple in the backfield, he is going to do what he does, especially when he has a 2-headed monster at receiver. So this offense is going to continue to be multiple in their offerings. Coach Schottenheimer is doing a good job of mixing it up. A lot of the plays look exactly the same, but the concepts are completely different. The personnel is different. This is very difficult for defenses to defend right at this point.
I can't add much more to that, but I want to say the offensive line did a tremendous job. Once again, Dak helped them. But what they are going to get better. They gave up a couple of sacks. They are going to get better. We got Booker back today. We got the left guard back last week, and now we got to get BB back. And once they get into a real groove, I'm with you, Isaiah. This thing can be unlimited.
Yeah, I mean, if you're able to piece it all together, that balanced attack over 250 yards through the air, 150 on the ground. The play-action game is something we've talked about extensively with Dak Prescott. He's completing 80% of his passes whenever it's off of play-action. So if you're able to run the ball like Javonte Williams, then all of a sudden the whole offense opens up. Right. When you look at Dak and how he's dealing right now, 21 of 30 passing, 290 yards, and 3 touchdowns today, is it all predicated off of the scheme, or is it all predicated off of the weapons that he now has around him?
It's everything. It's the system. It's the personnel. It's the system. It's the protection that he has. It's the running game. There's not one aspect that's necessarily better than the other, but they all play off of each other. So it helps when you have the personnel. It helps when you have the running game. It helps when you have the protection up front. And it helps when you have an offensive-minded head coach who can put you in a position to make everything look exactly the same, to create just that split second of hesitation for the defense to allow for your guys to get open and for you to deliver the ball.
Now, one word, experience. It does it all. He has experience. This is his 10th year, I think, and he has seen it all, but he's never had 2 more complete receivers than at this time. The last time he had it was with Amari Cooper, but we had a young CeeDee Lamb. Both of these guys are seasoned, and this coach understands the routes that they can run.
And you can't forget about your boy down there in the red zone.
Yeah. You know, you're not going to continue to attack me about Ferguson.
Hold on. Listen.
Ferguson is a premier wide receiver. Can we go to break?
Listen. Ferguson is, I'm giving props. Listen up. Ferguson is doing a heck of a job by being the security blanket for Dak. He doesn't need to get a bunch of yards. He has receivers to get all a bunch of yards. George Pickens was tied for first place coming into this game with 6 receiving touchdowns. You know who's tied up with him now?
Who's that?
Jake Ferguson.
Jake Ferguson. He's got 6 touchdowns.
And he's averaging 6.9 yards a catch.
This is going to be a debate that rages on for weeks and weeks on these television programs with Isaiah Stanback and Nate Newton. When we come back on Cowboys OT, we're going to hear from Dak himself as he goes to the podium. And we hear from QB1 after another stellar outing and a 44-22 win over Washington.
What's up with the bandage on your
nothing. A little Brit special to take some swelling down. I usually throw my left hand to cover the ball when getting hit, and usually takes a lot of helmets. So I'm sure it's just a face mask. Nothing unusual, honestly.
I think we ask you about the offense every week. To get CD back and like you got a run game going, just how good was it to see? This is what we do offensively.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. It was explosive. It was fun. I mean, you saw the big plays. Saw some drives we put together. Our standard and expectations for ourselves is very high, and so we understand when we've got guys, the playmakers that we have, the offensive line, the love that we have for one another, and you see it in just the way the guys finish plays, guys cover the ball, and defense played very well tonight. When you do that, I think more of our games are going to look like this.
Clarence Hill, DLLS Cowboys. How hard is it to stay patient when I want to throw it to CD, I want to throw it to Pick,
Yeah, it's not hard, honestly. I'm a very present guy, and I take pride in doing that, and it's something that I practice. And I say that as just by like trying to play it play by play, each and every play, and going through my reads. I know we talked about it earlier in the week when you're saying, y'all are asking, how do you not force it to those guys? And I said, that's on the coaches, right? And we've got multiple playmakers. Those are two dudes, and the other guys are as well. So that's my point is like wherever the ball goes, I'm confident when it leaves my hand that it's going to be called and the play is going to be made after that if that guy has a chance. Now when those two guys get it, it can be very explosive. So I just want to stay on the field. Something else I've mentioned before. I just want to stay on the field. So that's the other part that allows me to stay patient is I'm not trying to put the ball in harm's way and throw an interception and, we're sitting on the sideline. Like I just want to be on the field playing this game.
Just talk about the TD to CD. Shotty called it a mailbox story. Wasn't the right route or whatever else.
For sure.
What happened there?
Yeah, it wasn't the route that we were expecting. It's built for him to kind of run a deep cross right there. So, go through read one, George, and then I see the big window in a sense of, I say a solid window of where if he would have ran that route, he probably would have had a good play, not a touchdown. And so then I kind of just looked to find CD, and he's got his hands up saying I'm here. And so at that point I saw the safety or the corner to the right. They were in there tricky too. And I just put about everything I had on it on a line, understanding that I couldn't just lob it up, that both guys would be able to make a play and just try to give him a chance. He did a good job taking, 2 steps back, I think, catching the ball, and then walked into the end zone. So once again, a play that's not made unless you have confidence in the guy that you're throwing to, and then the guy you're throwing to is smart, understands the defense, understands the look, and understood he could take that opportunity, and we're able to capitalize on it.
Dak, Todd Archer with ESPN. Are you more proud of the 13 touchdowns in the last 4 games or the ball security?
I'm not sure. I think they go hand in hand, to be honest with you. I think when you're taking care of the ball, you got more opportunities to score touchdowns, and that's just leading to that. So not counting the touchdowns, so probably the interceptions being truthfully. I couldn't even have told you that's how many it was, but I could tell you that I hadn't thrown an interception. So just trying to be smart with it, but not hesitant or scared or cautious at the same time, right? Taking my chances. I've got tons of confidence in what I can do, where I can put it, and obviously the guys that I'm throwing it to. So that's just a result of that.
Dak Prescott following the 44-22 win over the Washington Commanders. Back with Isaiah Stanback and Barry Church. I'm Kyle Yeomans here on Cowboys OT. And we talked a little bit about what the defense did and how they stepped up in a big fashion under Coach Eberflus today. We talked about the passing attack and how much there was success there with George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb, Jake Ferguson and such. But we need to talk about the response that this team had today as a whole. You had the performance last week in a 30-29 loss to the Carolina Panthers. You rebound the way that they did today. It says a lot about this football team, Barry, and how much they are able to deal with adversity the right way.
Yeah, it just goes to show you what good teams do. They go in there, they diagnose what they did wrong, they watch the film, and they correct it. And not only correcting it, they implement it into the next game plan for the next week. And that's exactly what we saw here this afternoon with the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, when you look at it, it helps a lot to have a guy like CeeDee Lamb getting back into your lineup and opening up that offense. But to me, defensively, it was just night and day for what we saw last week against Carolina. I mean, they got pushed around against Carolina. And like we just talked to Donovan Ezaraku and Kenny Clark, they went into the film room, saw what was wrong, implemented it into this game plan, and, they went out there and got the W. So hopefully going forward, they can see what they did wrong in this game and go ahead and correct it as well.
Adaptability. I can't say
it.
Adaptability.
There it is.
My tongue got heavy there. Adaptability. Everybody, the players, and the coaches are both showing you that they can make those changes on the go, whether it be in-game adjustments, halftime adjustments, or whether it be you got your butt kicked and you have to go back and watch the film to figure out exactly what went wrong. Who did what wrong? Let's get it coached up. What did we do wrong as coaches? There's adaptability and there's accountability being had by players and coaches, and that's something that is very much so encouraging, especially as you start creeping up towards the halfway point in the season. You need to identify who you are, and if you can look yourself in the mirror and circle it and say, hey, this was trash as a coach, this was trash as a player, let's go ahead and face it, let's make the changes, and let's be better from it. That's when you can start growing as a team. It's the teams that like to deflect and point the fingers and nobody wants to take responsibility for the errors that occur on the field. Those are the teams that dwindle away. This team is ascending. They're nowhere near where they're going to be, but you can see that this momentum is starting to pick up.
And they're 3-3-1. The season very much so in front of them. Philadelphia did win today, so they're still a game and a half up at the moment, but you're within striking distance for this team in the division moving forward, and that's what you can ask for halfway or closing in on the halfway point in the middle of this season. When we come back on Cowboys OT, we're going to hear from the Cowboys front office and Jerry Jones just outside the locker room a couple moments ago. Cowboys take down the Commanders 44-22 the final in Arlington. Welcome back to Cowboys OT. Let's hear from Jerry Jones. He was just interviewed by the Dallas media right behind us outside of the locker room at AT&T Stadium. Here is the Cowboys owner, president, and general manager.
Well, that was an exciting room in there, and they should be excited. Obviously, every Cowboy fan should be excited how that defense played. And they really did some impressive things out there. Credit goes to head coach, who spent a lot of time on that side of the ball this week, along with Flus, and making adjustment. Certainly gives us a lot of hope as we look to the future as to how this defense can play as we evolve. It looks like we came out pretty clean on injury. And, of course, I cannot say enough about Dak Prescott and his play throughout the game. It really was the confidence throughout the game that he demonstrated that make you think we were there all the time. So, big win.
Jerry, what can you say about the offense with a healthy CeeDee Lamb? What's the ceiling for this offense?
Well, it gives Turp a lot of openness, doesn't it, when those two guys are out there? I'm kidding. But obviously the fact that George has been able to really establish himself in Lamb's absence, both with confidence, himself, his teammates, coaches. Now that gives what he can bring to the table with Lamb, with what we're doing in our running game. I thought, I don't want to take anything away from Washington and how they can disrupt, but I thought that was one of our best offensive outings out here in several years.
With Pickens and Lamb, have you had a better wide receiver duo at any time?
Well, we've had, I don't want to take anything away. I saw Dez going down through there. Don't want to take anything away from those guys. Don't have to, all of them. But I will tell you, Lamb's ability to really make the difference on an offense. Now Pickens is got that ability as well. That along with our running game, really, I feel as good about that offense as I have in a long time around here, and I say that to all our fans. What I am excited about is that we did make and have made adjustments. We'll continue to make adjustments. We do have personnel coming that will be coming and being a part of that defensive personnel. We got a chance to evolve into the kind of team that our fans deserve.
Jerry, you said you can hear all of Jerry Jones on DallasCowboys.com later on, and you could hear the excitement in his voice. And right at the beginning of the interview, he goes, you got to be excited about how this defense played. And I thought that was interesting. We're talking about the elite offense. We're talking about the way that Dak Prescott is playing and everybody around Dak Prescott is playing. But his first instinct was to give credit to the defense, which is certainly deserved. But that's where the hope lies in this team. That's where you feel like there's hope in this season, Nate, is that if the defense can be even serviceable, they can make a run even after a 3-3-1 start.
They took major steps, man, just by tackling better today, just by coming up, making plays. The young James kid coming up, getting the sack and a fumble, just making plays, taking steps. Now they just have to build week by week to get a little bit better.
Yeah, this is one of the first times we've seen, that Eberflus defense really come alive. And what I mean by that is you saw guys flying around the football like their hair was on fire, gang tackling. There wasn't a lot of one-on-one tackles out there. And what he loves to say is keep the cup. I mean, and that's what they did exactly on the defensive side of the ball. They had a contained piece. They had the inside pursuit coming, and then you had one of those safeties or linebackers coming down like a missile and capping it off. You really saw that Eberflus defense really come alive this afternoon.
And you guys hit on what happened tonight. I'm more so concerned about what Mr. Jones just alluded to in terms of help is on the way. I know Agent Zero is on the mend, and he might be back here hopefully by the Thanksgiving. I know that was his marker that he had set forth. But maybe, just maybe, Kyle, are there other enforcements coming before the trade deadline? I don't know. I'm not speculating. I'm just going off what he said. I heard the excitement. Sometimes, owners that especially when you have salary cap space and you have draft equity, sometimes you just might be a little tantalized to go ahead and make a move.
Burning a hole in the pocket. You ready to spend a
Jump
little
on
bit.
the momentum train.
Yeah, maybe so. And that's
Not
what you
draft
need.
capital.
We asked Stephen Jones that in the pregame show. Are these next few games going to play a factor? He said, we're going to take it game by game. This one was certainly a big hope in the right direction for the Cowboys organization. When we come back, we also had a Club 42 signing in this one. Jadeveon Clowney had a pretty nice game along that defensive line. We're going to talk to the newest member of Club 42 when we come back.
Closed captioning is brought to you by the Texas Lottery. Cowboys scratch tickets from the Texas Lottery are here. Play today.
On a day where the Cowboys community and the Cowboys homecoming was celebrated inside AT&T Stadium, Barry Church got the Don, the 42, yet again. And there was another 42 on the field that showed out in a pretty big way today.
Well, Kyle, let's go ahead and talk to the third member of Club 42, and that's Jadeveon Clowney.
Teams and offense don't be like that everywhere you go. So when you got an offense that can high power, like they can pick the ball in the air or run it, it's pretty great when you got a defense. All you want to go out there and do is rush the passer, and they put us in a lot of them situations. So we just got to execute on defense, and I think it'll work out for us at the end. Just keep playing together throughout the season.
You've been getting seemingly closer and closer to this game that you played, and then you look at today, you run defense, pass breakup, and you're finally able to get home on the sack. Do you feel like you're finally improving now?
Oh, for sure. I was telling Coach that I felt like I had to go through a little camp when I first got here. I was told him to come off that couch. It's a little different when you hop up off that couch. But, yeah, I'm feeling much better now than I did 2 weeks ago, even playing out here. So just practicing, I feel much better. So, yeah, this is part of the game, get back into it. And I told him, I said, I'm feeling much better this week than I have in the past few weeks. So I think I've got my feet up under me, and I'm ready to rock. And he let me rock out today.
What was this? What you like? Sorry,
I stand up. Sorry, let me put this shirt on.
Will the real 42 please stand up? I mean, Barry Church is already standing. He's already doing his thing at the moment. Back with Barry Church and Nate Newton, a couple of the Cowboys legends that were honored pregame as a part of Cowboys homecoming. And it felt like a homecoming today for the Cowboys defense and that defensive front. They've been waiting to see a performance like this. Jadeveon Clowney and a couple other guys stepped up in a big way. It wasn't just the big names. It was the depth that showed out in this one.
Yeah, you saw a lot from the depth, especially on that defensive line. Like you mentioned, Clowney was out there. James Houston was able to get active. Kenny Clark and the crew. Donovan Ezeraku got his first sack of the afternoon. So they made things extremely hard for both quarterbacks for the Washington Commanders out there. My only worry is this is not a flash performance. I just don't want this to be this is a one-off where these guys went off and exploded, and then the next couple of games we won't see them again. We need consistency out of the front seven. But if you do get that consistency, then, man, the sky's the limit because you got a high-powered offense on the other side.
Yeah. And, the Clowney just said it took him a couple of weeks. He's feeling better. So now you can start seeing the sacks. You can start seeing him putting a little bit of hits on the quarterback. And Donovan Ezeraku. Yeah. Hey, this kid been working for this sack for 6 weeks. And he finally got it because sometimes all you need is one.
Yeah,
and it gives you the confidence and the momentum to continue to take your game to another level. So I'm with you. As long as they be consistent and improving, they'll have a chance.
And that's the thing is you got to have some level of improvement, and you saw that in this matchup. Without it, I think the hope is just empty.
Yeah.
But the way that they played against a good Washington team, a team that came in at 500, was in the NFC title game a year ago, it gives you a lot of hope for how this thing can come together as the season goes on. Well, next week they've got another test, and it's a road test up at the Mile High city of Denver. The Denver Broncos put up 33 points in the fourth quarter to defeat the New York Giants. Today, they'll match up with the Cowboys in Week 8. We talk about that matchup and how the Cowboys can continue their momentum from a 44-22 win over the Commanders today.
To watch more Dallas Cowboys content on your connected TV, download the Cowboys Now app on Amazon Fire, Roku, and Apple TV. Cowboys OT was brought to you by Sleep Number. Sleep Number, the official sleep and wellness partner of the Dallas Cowboys. Yeti, officially licensed Yeti Cowboys gear, is now available at Stadium Pro Shops, concession, and on Yeti.com. And by Blockchain.com. Invest like your icons with Blockchain.com.
44-22, Dallas on top of Washington in Week 7 of the NFL season. The Cowboys improved to 3-3-1, and they set up a crucial matchup in Week 8 against the Denver Broncos. Denver coming off of a 33-32 win over fellow NFC East foe, the New York Giants, in this week of NFL action. Back with Isaiah Stanback, Barry Church, Nate Newton. I'm Kyle Yeomans. Why are you shaking your head?
Because they scored all their points in the fourth quarter.
33 points in the fourth quarter. And, I mean,
insanity.
They can play. Denver is a formidable opponent. One of the better led teams across the board. How does Dallas keep the momentum rolling after what they did today against Washington?
This will be their biggest test in terms of defenses versus our offense. Obviously, we're at the top of the league in terms of offense, but that defense, they have a lot, and they can match up against everybody that you put out there. That's going to be a huge challenge for the Dallas Cowboys offense.
Yeah, without a doubt, and they got to make sure they do what they did going into this game, and that is correct and make adjustments. I mean, we heard the players say it. We heard Mr. Jones say it as well. You got to make these adjustments because it's a week-by-week league, but if they're able to go out there and have a defense show like they did today, you know the offense is going to be explosive. I got a good chance for the Cowboys to get a W.
Run the ball and play 10% better on defense than you did today.
I like it. All of those things can certainly play a factor in that matchup. It's a 3:25 kickoff. Cowboys on the road. It has not been a must-hit. They did have the win against New York earlier in the campaign, but they have not played well as a whole on the road. We'll see if they can continue their momentum from what was a really fun day here at AT&T Stadium. We had Barry Church and Nate Newton honored prior to the game as legends of the Cowboys community, wearing the jerseys all the way through. We had Des Bryant crash not only the pregame show, but he also crashed the first word, and he crashed this set on Cowboys OT as well. And we've got Cowboys game night coming up here in just a little bit. If you haven't checked it out already, go ahead and check out all those pieces of Cowboys content. For Isaiah Stanback, Barry Church, Nate Newton, I'm Kyle Yeoman saying so long from AT&T Stadium. The Cowboys win at 44-22.